Hello, welcome to a day in the life of me, Jake. You can call me Jake, but you might also know me as the guy who tried to get my bedtime extended by 3 hours because Jack claimed that if I stay up until 7 or 1 p.m. I'll have absolutely terrible things going on with me, like heart disease and high cholesterol and sugar levels. Yep, that's really his imagination. Anyway, this is the life of me. Well, I meant the day in the life of me. At 6 a.m. I get up. My alarm sounds like this. Hello, today's going to be a wonderful day for you. You're going to have lots of fun, and we're going to do tons of activities. That gets me up somehow. So at 6 a.m. I do my morning stretches, yes, I do a weird form of them. And then at 6:01 a.m., and then 6:01 a.m., I get out of my pajamas. And then I come down to my strict dad a minute later to watch some CBeebies. I won't show you the clips because for copyright reasons, but okay. Sadly, you won't see it, so I'll just put copyrighted content. Boom! Yep, here it is. So this is just a few minutes after the CBeebies comes in the air, and then 6:03 I get prepared for breakfast here. The usual cereal I have is Frosted Flakes. Sure, this is what Frosted Flakes look like. But just for cheap. But because my dad says he can't afford anything that's expensive, he just gets a bootleg version of them. So yeah, called kettle boiled flakes. They're unfortunately really hot, so I'm like, and I'm wondering why have I not rebelled against him. Well, it's because I could get in huge trouble. Yes, I could get in huge trouble from the council if I do this. Well, but I still love my dad quite dearly, though. I'm not really lying, but okay. Dad comes along and says, "Eat your breakfast. We need to eat brekkie fast." And then I do. Here, I like. And then I finish my breakfast at 6:05. And then 6:05 a.m. I actually just watch a lot of TV while doing some stuff in between them. Well, sure, the content that would actually fit me is for 9+. To make Dad happy, I just watch stuff like CBeebies and maybe with permission CBBC. Yeah, that is for 6 and older. I actually do quite like those shows from CBBC, which I sadly can't show clips of, but if I could, I would demonstrate to you. And then a surprising part of my day is that I actually go swimming. Yeah, swimming. Yeah. The swimming session usually lasts around 30 minutes to up to an hour, but that day it lasted around 40 minutes. Here. Sorry if it looks like I'm not wearing clothes. Really, I am. Here's what I actually look like in the swimming pool. Don't get super mad at me. YouTube, I'm doing this for educational purposes, and you really thought you was gonna see me in just my boxes? You would be really weird. I would probably get in trouble, YouTube. Okay, but in actual seriousness, that's fine. Oh, and yes, so every day I try to aim for around 10 to 25 lengths of the pool. The pool is 100 meters long. My average time, on average, I'm able to get 21 lengths done. No, don't get angry. Then at 7:10, I get prepared for school with my lunchbox, school bag, and my pen and pencil case, and a calculator case. Pen and pencil and calculator case. Yes, okay, there's certainly a lot to do, but luckily I can carry it all. Yeah. Oh, and then at 8 a.m. I'm walking down the street getting to school. My school starts at 9, and then I come to my school at 8:45 in the morning. So in the morning, so 15 minutes before it really opens. And I'll tell you, the school is massive. Like, ginormous. Yeah. It's like 200 meters long and 100 meters tall. It's got 6 floors, and we're wondering, how do we navigate the school? Well, it's because of something called, a school car, where it moves, actually I meant school train, where it transports us to the different classes when we're done. So it's a really fun thing to do. During the time, we can actually talk to friends, and if permission, play games. At 9 a.m, this is the first class of the day, which is English. So what happens in English is that I usually write some new words and definitions. So I'm a new on class. Here's some of the words I learned. I know a lot already for a 5-year-old. In fact, I would even fit into a year 4 class. I mean, I've heavily studied stuff. I'm a really smart child as well. Yeah, and a lot of the stuff I do after 7 p.m. is related to educational stuff. That way I can get prepared for the next day, just in case I won't know it. So I even know words like juxtaposition, simile, which aren't even referenced until like late primary school or early secondary school. So that is interesting. Yeah. At 9:21 today, on that day, I actually finished my very special creation, which is actually called the simple algebra page, simple algebra writing. Yippee! And yes, I do surprisingly know about small amounts of algebra. Like, I know that 3x plus 2 equals 14. I know it's 4, but I don't know so many other things, like calculus. Anyway, regardless, this child finished at 9:32, this child finished at 9:35, and this child did not even finish. And yes, all classes last exactly an hour, and my teacher's called Mrs. Education. She's a really nice and smart teacher, and she disciplines us not in a bad way, but in a nice way. She's not a bad teacher, and I've never been in trouble before. And you might be wondering, why is this kid have a suspicious look? Well, it's because he slapped 1,000. Because he slapped Mr. Education 1,000 times in the face, and deep down she's actually quite unhappy from it. Although she still loves us all, except for him, because of all the slappings and beatings he's done to him. One time he even pulled the fire alarm, and Jake was the only one to not believe it, because he knew there was no fire, but then nothing happened, other than him getting in trouble and it being found as being a lie. Next at 10 a.m. we have maths. They teach us to do simple calculations like what's 5 times 2 or 4 times 4. 5 times 2 is 10 and 4 times 4 is 16. They also like to spice it up a notch by giving us a quiz. So they'll ask you questions like, what is 5 squared? They'll give you the definition, and then you have to find out. The answer I have is 25, which is right. Yeah, 25. I also know about other forms of exponentiation, like decimal ones. I also know about square roots and all that, so I'm doing fine. In fact, I should realistically be in year 5 to 6 or something. In fact, I'm secretly planning the principal to do this for me, and he somehow agreed with the plans. Anyway, at 10:19, I actually try and write I complete the entire thing. I actually complete the entire thing super quickly, and I give all my evaluations, which took 90 minutes to do, so it happened at 10:19. The teacher here is called Mr. Strict. He is a strict teacher, but he does love us, and he disciplines us nicely, kind of like Mr. Educational. Yeah, he's actually not a bad teacher despite his strictness. His voice is also funny, I have to say.
If you don't complete this work, you're gonna have a serious consequence.
And then it was like, oh yeah? I won't have a consequence. I could just beat you up. And then beat you up, and the student's like,
if you say that again, I will get you down and put you in the principal's office.
And when that happened before, the principal strokingly said this. Hey, hello, I love what you're doing, so it's time to
get out of the school.
Haha, I was joking. Joking. Guess what? I honestly love the things that you do, which would make you go to detention. And guess what? And I really think it's a good thing that you made a student try to say the N-word.
No!
What? Come on! If I had a dime for every time I was trouble, I would have enough funding for all the Marvel Poppers here.
What did you say?
It's break time at 10:30. It lasts 30 minutes, which is quite long actually. So really, maths is at break time. It's 10:30 when it's break time, and the usual thing I do is lecture people on how to behave. Yes, yeah. In fact, I even bring up experts. I even bring up expert resources to even treat those psychotic behaviors. I've actually tried this with this villain, although it has taken a while to take any sort of effect. It is starting to affect him nicely though. And this is only a small bit of how big the lecture is. Just look how big it is. Boom. Yep, that's how big the lecture is. And yet the teachers are recognized I know how to do it right, which is cool. Because certainly I don't think anyone else in the class will be able to do a lecture this big and have such a good effect. So, yeah. Anyway, that's the end of part 1, so goodbye. Yes, this is multiple parts, it's quite a long story.